What's up, everybody? Welcome to Goaltending, where your why is bigger than your excuses. I'm super excited for today's episode. We are coming live from F45 training in Crestwood and have two outstanding people. It's my first time interviewing two people at the same time. Usually I just do one. And the reason why is we have just an outstanding duo. To be able to learn some about fitness, business, and family. And before I get into introducing them, first I want to say thank you for tuning in and allowing us to be a part of your journey. The podcast, the information that you get today, it's all free. All I ask is that you go like, subscribe, share it, and comment with your thoughts and questions to join the conversation. Today's episode is fueled by Prepping with Peppers, and without further ado, our guests today are the proud owners of F45 Training in Crestwood, Kentucky, and that's just one of many outstanding reasons that I asked them to be on the show today. They're also, in my mind, the definition of a power couple. All right, both high-performing athletes. Hannah played soccer for the University of Louisville, and Earl played baseball for the University of Georgia, and they couple that athletic prowess with high-level sales and business experience. They're constantly seeking growth opportunities to grow as a team and lift their community around them. And on top of that, they just added a baby boy to their family. So excited to share this time with you both, to be here with you today. Hannah and Earl Daniels, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Super excited, man. Appreciate you having us on and excited to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Exciting things that you all have been doing. So you just had your grand opening at the gym right around a month ago, just shy of a month. So very new on that. I know Hannah started at F45 a little over a year ago as a trainer, and then not long after moved up to a manager. And then this year you all decided to take on ownership. And so I just want to know what led to making that decision, and what was the conversation like to get to this point?
Yeah, I'll say right place, right time. So everything just kind of fell in line. I wanted to step out of the corporate world, did that, wanted to try and have a baby. It was perfect timing. I wanted to do something that was, low impact on me mentally, and this space was, perfect for it. I love coaching, and it doesn't feel like work, so that's what I turned to. And then an opportunity presented itself right around like August. I was real pregnant, and we just kind of went for it and made it happen. But it was really the right place at the right time, for sure.
Yeah, and on top of that, I think it's expressing yourself when you want to possibly become an owner. So like the owners who had it before this, we were just like, if you guys ever want to sell it, or if you guys ever want new ownership to step in, let us know. And it was just a pass-through conversation.
Yeah.
And now it led into this. So kind of expressing yourself when you have that intuition or you have that feeling inside, express yourself to whoever it is. You may not even think they're listening.
Right.
It caught on. So
yeah, you put it out in the universe,
exactly.
And it happened to be
manifested.
Yeah, I love that. So then how much would you say was luck, and how much do you think was intentionality?
I'll go. I think it's intentionality was we've always wanted to, at some point, run a fitness facility of some sort. We didn't know exactly what it was, but we knew we've always kind of thought about our goals as a family is we want fitness to be part of our lives. And I think that mentality also with, a little bit of right timing, a little bit of luck in there, we were able to kind of hop on something, and it was scary. Because, they say, yeah, you can become owner. Cool.
Right.
What's next? You know what I mean? It's like you don't know kind of what that means.
Yeah.
So, again, Hannah taking a leap and being like, babe, this feels good. Let's do it. And she led that, and I was like, I got your back. Let's make this happen. So,
yeah.
Are you same in terms of what you think on luck and intentionality?
Yeah, I think so. I think I had a little bit more like gut of just like, let's do this than he did. And it's just because I was in here every day, I learned the community of this place a little bit more, and the people are great. The atmosphere is great. And I mean, once he stepped foot in here, he didn't have to really be convinced. He was like, all right, yeah, I believe you. Let's do it. So here we are.
Oh, I can see it because I've been to a couple classes now, and I can say that just from working out with you all, being in the environment, like it is not only a great place to get an excellent workout, but it's just highly motivating. The environment, the way that you all lift people up throughout the workouts too, to guide it and to lift other people up. So I guess first, can you give a basic explanation of what functional fitness is for anybody that might be listening that doesn't know anything about what functional fitness is, and then how are the workouts arranged at your gym to help people maximize their performance and their results?
Yeah. So F45 actually stands for functional for 45 minutes. So every class except for Saturdays are 45 minutes. Saturdays are an hour. And you fill every bit of that hour, as Will knows. But, every day is different in here, and we call it functional fitness because whatever movements you do in the studio should correlate to something that you're doing in your life. So if you are working on a Romanian deadlift, that might be equivalent to picking your child up off the floor. Like we're using that every single day. Or if we're doing a push press overhead, we might be putting laundry in that top shelf, whatever it is. So it's very correlating to like what do you do in everyday life. So that's the functional portion of it. And then as far as like day-to-day what the workouts look like, we've got Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Those are going to be our strength and resistance days. Mm-hmm. And then Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays are going to be a mix of either cardio or hybrid meaning cardio and strength and resistance. So kind of the best of both worlds. Mm-hmm. So every day looks different. We program in 4-week increments. So you'll have the same workouts for 4 weeks in a row, but every single one of those days, you've got different equipment on the floor, different movements, just something new.
Okay, so let me ask this. Do you have a favorite day?
I'll go cardio day.
Yeah.
It just keeps me accountable because I don't think I would do it if I didn't come to class. So I enjoy cardio days because once I'm in here, it's hard to get in here. But once I'm in here, I love it. So, Yep.
Yeah. I love a true hybrid. So getting some cardio stations and getting some lifting stations, those are my favorite days. As far as like coaching though, I love a strength and resistance day just because I love to really push people and it gives you more of like a one-on-one time with each person. So you can kind of motivate them to lift heavier or you're really focusing on form those days. And I think that's when my coaching technique shines the most. So I just really enjoyed those days as a coach. Yeah. But like actually taking classes, hybrids are my favorite.
Okay. Which one do you think, do you think either one produces any type of more significant results in terms of like what people are trying to get out of coming to the gym?
I think that a lot of people tend to do cardio outside of the gym. Like you can go for a walk or go for a run or go for a swim. Right. So a lot of people do that outside of the gym. So we see a huge population of people come through on those strength and resistance days. Yeah. And it's because you don't have that equipment in your living room at home, So we see more people on those days. And I think that that's why.
Okay. That makes sense. Are Saturdays a hybrid day?
Saturdays are a hybrid, yeah.
Okay, so that's all I've experienced. At this point, I've experienced the hybrid days, but I do love it in terms of being able to get some good strength training and some cardio at the same time. I always walk away just exhausted, like knowing that I put the work in, though. So those are great classes. Now I want to know you talked about, we decided we're going to take this business leap. And not knowing what that necessarily means next. So we're still pretty early on, but would you say is the biggest challenge that you faced so far from a business standpoint?
I would say the legal aspect of it.
Okay.
So understanding what you need an attorney for, because they say get an attorney for almost everything.
Yeah. And
then you get that attorney bill and it changes your mind a little bit, So I think for me, what I looked at it was, again, Hannah's an owner operator. So she's in here way more than I am.
Yeah.
But I looked at it from a financial aspect, like that's why I was a little, when she's like, let's take over F45. I don't know. We can do other things. Let's see. But I think the biggest thing was when we first got this, just the legal aspect of what attorneys we had to get involved, what they were really doing, and like what contractually, what all this stuff meant. You know, it was, they kind of give you, hey, you're signing things on a dotted line, and you're like, what am I really signing? You know what I mean? So at that point, as owners, we had to really dig into, okay, we're not just signing something, we're signing, our lives, our financial aspect, our futures. So we had to kind of dig deeper into that. So from a legal aspect, that's what was kind of hard for us at first. So.
Yeah.
I'll say, which we're going through right now, rebranding. So we've been here. When I say we, I mean this location has been here for 5 years, and we weren't a part of that. So the community has a perception of what this place is, what it has to offer, what the energy is, what the coaches are like, and we're coming in brand new. And we have to bring something brand new. And not only do we bring it to this place, but we also have to let people know. And when I say people, I mean like the people who've already taken this classes, or, they've tried it once and they didn't like it. So kind of getting those people back in the door, or letting them know, hey, we do have something new. It's different. It's fresh. We've got these new ideas, and kind of getting that out there in the community. So that's a big focus of ours right now, is just getting into the community of Oldham County and just getting further than just Crestwood where we're located. There's so much more area to cover. So that's a big focus of ours right now.
Oh yeah. Just from, the time of seeing the grand reopening and everything that you all have done, I definitely see the work that you put into that. As well as just the work in here. I mean, you all can see the backdrop behind us, but the new lighting and the touching up the paint and making sure things are good in terms of pursuing like new and updated equipment and stuff like that. So I definitely see that. The legal piece is a great point. I think a ton of people going into business you are not used to looking at contracts and don't understand the legal jargon that is in them to be able to understand. And so you end up needing to pay a lawyer to help decipher, what is this contract actually saying? Like, in what ways does it protect me, and make sure that we're actually achieving and accomplishing what we're going after.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a great point. It's just understanding those legal pieces, all of the stuff that's the gym, the training, that's the exciting piece. And now we've got some of these other things that come along with it that's a little tougher to figure out.
And I would say from that, it's okay to ask questions, even to a lawyer. I mean, question them. I know it's their job, but if you don't understand something, like that's what, we built Hannah. She will question something. If it doesn't look right, she'll question it. But that's what you can't be afraid of.
Yeah.
You can't. And I know because they have the title lawyer, you're like, they know what they're doing, which I'm sure they do. But if you don't know what they're doing as a business owner, that you're kind of left in the dark at their mercy. But if you start asking those questions and really understanding it, whatever next investment, hopefully you may not need a lawyer for certain aspects of getting a new business or whatever that looks like. So you can learn from it like anything.
Absolutely. So that becomes a learning experience that helps you for future endeavors too. I like that. All right. So a big piece for you all as well is your son's less than a year old. So, we got a new baby boy in the world, and a lot of people use their kids as an excuse to not go after things in life. They'll say, I don't have the time, or I need to focus on my kids, so I can't pursue my own dreams. And they put things off. And then, in the future, once their kids move out of the house, they don't know what to do. They have regrets for things that they didn't pursue. And for you all, instead of that, you all find every way possible to go after it, to set the example, to show the example of hard work, to show the example of going after, what you want to go for. So can you share some tips on how you all communicate and work through parenthood while operating the business and your investments?
You hear about generational wealth a lot. And since we started dating, it's something that we've talked about early on, that we want to set up our family for generational wealth. And you can't do it if you're not being proactive. and it doesn't, being proactive doesn't mean that you're just making things happen all the time. It's like a mentality of being proactive. Like you're thinking of new ideas or like just ways you can become better as a person. And that kind of transitions into, what you do, those bigger and better things in life. So we've always just been in agreement that we want to give our family generational wealth, and we had to start somewhere. So taking that first leap and making some sort of investment or whatever it is, it was a hard jump, but once you, I think, do the first one, it gets easier, or so we found.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we talk about, it takes sacrifice, and I think if you understand what that end goal is, it makes it worth it. So I think along with generational wealth, you can't just talk about it. What's your strategy? You got to have a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plan of what that looks like. And if you don't, if you're at year 3, you're not where you say you were going to be at year 3, you got to look at each other, look in the mirror and say, what we have to do. So I think for this, it was one of those things that generational wealth, but it's also, strategizing as a family. Where do we want to be? And what does it take to get there? And is it hard? Yeah, it is hard, but also hear it all the time. It's hard to start right now, but it's also hard in 10 years when you shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's just as hard as what we're going through right now with a little one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like how you said, like, working toward it as a family, like working together. Like we have to talk about, and get on the same page so that the actions align with where it is that we want to be.
Yes.
And I think that can be a big piece of what leads to divorce, to turmoil in relationships, is if we don't communicate and get on the same page about what we're working toward, then it starts to become we're working against each other.
Right.
Or we're both working individually and we're out of alignment, and you can never achieve as much as you possibly could had you combined your efforts.
Right.
So that's what I see from you all. That's kind of what I take away from that working as a family, that communication piece. So that in itself is just a great tip, a great point. I mentioned in the beginning, in the intro, you all were both collegiate athletes, and so we're into the the business realm, and we're into the communication piece and the relationship. What are some top skills that you gained from sports that you believe have carried over, that are helping in terms of relationship, in terms of business?
I'll go first. I think it's from a business perspective, just competing, man. Being competitive. It's in you, like it's inside. It feels a different type of way when you have to compete, and it's not even like outworking someone physically, but it's also like from a mental grind. You know what I mean? Where you could kind of take a day off and not try to learn something, or you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's being competitive. Definitely helped, I think, in a business aspect in everything you do. From my end,
Definitely there's a mental portion to it. And I've learned through, I guess, sports is like, if you have a strong mentality, the physical part can be learned. And it's like that with business too. Like if you have a go get it attitude, then you can do it, or you can find steps to do it, because there's so many people and so many resources. They're going to help you get to where you want to get to. You just have to have the attitude and pursue it.
So I love the bringing in the competitiveness piece, but to separate that from sports and to think about that in terms of how you approach life. So like just thinking of my own examples, like thinking of when I get up at 4:00 in the morning and do a workout, I'm very tired when I get up, and it's a struggle to start. And after I do that, I feel a reward in knowing that there are a few people willing to do what I'm willing to do. Like other people don't want to do this. They would rather be common. They would rather hit the snooze button. They would, rather wait till later and get their workout in if they can. So thinking about being willing to take on challenging things, because I know that this is going to set me apart from the competition, from other people that are trying to go after similar type things. So I love that you brought that piece up and the mindset. Like mindset in everything that we do, that's a big piece of what I commonly try to focus on is mindset and how you think about and how you approach things and how you talk to yourself and the way in which you think about things that happen in your life. So both excellent, outstanding points. Now, taking on the gym is not your first investment together. I know you've all have also had some real estate investing. So in the time that you all have been together, you've combined your knowledge and your energy to grow and to find ways to invest constantly. And we talked a little bit about that building generational wealth. So how much of your money management skills would you say are self-taught and how much were inherited in some capacity?
I will go ahead and say that I have always been the type of person that makes a budget. I, spreadsheet everything, and Earl is the most whimsical spender I've ever met in my life. And so when we started dating, there had to be a point in our relationship where we sat down together and said, we have to make changes for the greater good of our future, or this isn't going to work out financially for our family. And so we worked together, and he's been awesome about learning new stuff and changed to where he now is tracking via spreadsheets and things like that. So very cool to see.
Yeah. And I think to that, it was a lot was self-taught. I think, neither of her parents went to college. Neither of my parents went to college. So it was one of those things that it almost hits you in the face, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is what financial just understanding is. And I've been blessed to have a wife that helped me through that. I know there's a lot of people who they learn it early, which is super dope, or they never learn it at all, or it's a struggle, or, but I had a wife that was like, we have to write down all of our expenses, any debt we had, any of that. We sat down, and I got nervous. I was like, "Oh, hold up! What you talking about? What you mean?" Yeah. So, and because it was just new to me, it was something new to me. It was like that's it. It was just new in general, and I think that took a little bit of vulnerability to do. Yeah. And we both sat down and was like, all right, let's write it out. And it was just also very refreshing, though, for both of us just to have all our stuff out there, whatever good, bad, and different, whatever it was, all out there. And now that's when you can be strategic and you can plan and have generational wealth talks when you both know each other for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Also.
Health, fitness, fat loss, sleep, all goals that are impacted by the fuel you put into your body. I've tried meal prepping at home, and I've tried multiple meal prep companies, including those that deliver, but I'll be honest, nothing has been better than the meals I get from Prepping with Peppers. They offer fresh, never frozen meals on a weekly rotating basis, so you don't have to get tired of eating the same meals over and over again. So save yourself some time for the things that matter most by ordering your meals at preppingwithpeppers.com. So I like that piece when you're thinking of us working together as a team. I have to know where you're strong and where you have weaknesses. And then also communicate where I'm strong and have weaknesses so that we can combine together. And it's very common for there to be a budgeter and a spender. Very common dynamic in relationships. Same thing for Brittany and I. I'm the budgeter, but it's the communication piece and the willingness to communicate, to be open, to find a commonality and work together toward a common agreed upon objective. Yep. And to both have commitment and buy into the why we're trying to do this, that generational wealth piece.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I really like that. Okay. So for the Hannah being the budgeter, I'm the one that wants to put the numbers on the page. Where would you say that comes from for you?
I think that both of my parents are that way. We definitely enjoyed things in life that weren't a need, it was a want, but inside like our house, I just remember it was very important to, make sure your basis is covered before you go and like enjoy other things you don't really need. And it made them that much more special, I guess. So for me, I never saw my parents in debt or anything like that. And I guess I just grew up with the mindset that that's how you were supposed to just live your normal life. So it was just ingrained in me. So when they said, all right, you're free, go to college, I just followed in their footsteps and just made sure that all my bases were covered, and then whatever was kind of left, I could save and, go do fun things with.
Right. All right. So you all are coming up on 2 years of marriage, right? And in September this year, and still, that's for most people like 2 years is pretty young. And so I want to get your take on what's like the best piece of advice that you would give to newlywed couples getting started on their journey.
Communication is key. Like you can't get through anything without communicating and really being vulnerable with the other person. Don't sugarcoat anything. That's your partner. You're going through life with this person. Like if anyone knows literally everything about you, it should be this person. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think that there's nothing to hide. It makes life hard. And that's, why you see relationships fail. And we've learned that communication, whether it's like something so simple or something very complex, it just makes it more efficient.
I would say just really understand each other and who that person is. Like there's things that I need to work on, there's things she needs to work on, but I think communication with that, but also not trying to just force your mindset or your way into her or her into me. Right. It's really it's a mutual kind of thing, and it's understanding and being okay with what you're not good at. That is factual, and looking in the mirror and be like, yes, you are correct. And then from there, how can you get better? It's not going to happen overnight, because you've been, I've been doing it for years, and I think once you really understand who that person is and who you are as a couple, I think that just makes it's never going to be easy, but it makes it to where, you all are on the same page, and it's always going to be consistent on just improving, like you can say you communicate, and talking doesn't mean that you're communicating. Sometimes I've learned it's what you have to just listen. I'm a problem solver. Yeah. That's just how I think. So there's times where she's telling me, Earl, I just need you to listen. And that's hard for me because I just want to be like, you need to do this.
I will solve your problem right now.
Yeah. So again, but that's how I think in a business aspect, but I've had to, again, learn. It's like communication isn't always talking. It's sometimes, most of the time, listening. And then from there, really digesting what that person says and not answering their questions in your head before they're even done. Because you already have what you want to say and they're not even done talking. So, and I am still working on that, but I think it's that self-awareness piece of just trying to improve, man. So
and I mean, none of us are ever going to be perfect. So having the awareness to recognize, like, I will always need to improve and have a willingness to improve. I think you're going to love this quote. I had a business communications teacher who said, without understanding, communication cannot take place. Like that ties both of your alls together right there. The communication, the understanding. And I mean, another, just add to that is the willingness and ability to like put your ego aside to gain that understanding, to understand like it's not all about me, it's about us. And to be able to take that. So those are excellent, great points. So if you all could each give one piece of advice to the younger version of yourself, what would it be?
That's tough. But I would say it's okay to fail. It's okay to fall, but fail fast and fall forward. And I think especially as an athlete, failure is scary. Because if you fail at something, or it's a bad thing, perceived as always kind of, oh, you didn't do something, so now there's a cause and effect for it. But failure is a win as well, because you will learn a lot when you fail. And as long as you fail fast and don't let it just hinder you, it becomes rewarding and very helpful. So
yeah, being able to learn from failure is crucial. Nobody wants to look bad.
Yep.
And so we think of, if I fail at something, then that gives a perception of me looking bad.
From people that don't even matter.
Yeah. Like when you embrace failure though, like when you're like, failure is an opportunity for me to grow and to learn. So I couldn't agree more. That's a really great takeaway, is you have to be willing to learn from that failure.
I would say to look, just dive deeper into yourself. You have a perception of who you are as a person, and someone else has a perception of who you are as a person, and 9 times out of 10 those aren't going to match up. And you may think that you're making all the right decisions, but just go and look at yourself in the mirror. And there's lots of times when I'm sure, 100% sure I'm doing what I should be doing, or I'm making the right decision, and you need to look at it from other angles. And maybe you're doing something just because that's the way you've always done it, and just breaking those habits. I wish I could have done things like that a little bit earlier in life. I think it would have definitely been beneficial, but now I'm kind of learning to step back when I'm in a situation, and how should I view this? How am I viewing this? How are other people viewing this? Or take different avenues of it and then make a decision. You also don't have to make decisions at the drop of a hat. You can analyze things and kind of go through them in your head, and then that makes the decision a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And when it comes to perspective, I think about that all the time. If I gave this advice to myself, would I have listened?
Yeah.
We learn from all these experiences in life, and then it's so much easier when we're looking back now, having that experience, and we're a much better understanding of perspective and an ability to see other perspectives. And so that's something I always play with. Would I have listened if I told myself that?
Yeah. I think it's crazy to think about. But also I think, again, that's why we have a little one now. You know what I mean? The stuff we've learned, and we're not going to put it all on him and try to make him somebody we weren't. But it's also, there's some guidance in there that we can pass down, that we almost do have a younger version of ourselves,
right.
in our children to some sense. And it's not forcing them to be someone you weren't. It's just kind of giving them, hey, this is
better tools to do
better
it.
tool,
Right.
better tools to make decisions that maybe we didn't get. So.
And it's crazy how much of ourselves are in our kids. Without I didn't even teach you that. How do you just naturally have this?
I can't imagine.
We'll talk to Brittany's parents, the kids' grandparents, and they'll just be like, our grandkids are exactly like their parents. They act just like you all. And it's crazy how they pick those things up. So it really is little us's that we have the opportunity to guide from the lessons that we learn. So love that. I want to give people the chance to connect with you all. So what's a good way for people to reach out, to find you, to connect if they have questions about anything fitness, business, life related?
Yeah. Well, if they have questions regarding fitness, they can reach out to us here at the gym. Our business phone number is 502-305-8611. And our email address is crestwood, CRESTWOOD at f45training.com. We've got some cool trials, free weeks, things like that. So it's definitely, a cool place to come check us out. Just get a little fitness in, and then we can go from there. And then as far as me, I've got Instagram, Facebook. So just look up Hannah Daniels. You'll find me there.
Yeah. Earl Daniels. Instagram. I don't have Facebook. But also we both have LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn.
I think LinkedIn's a huge tool that you can, from a business and, personal perspective, I think LinkedIn is a big tool. So,
yeah. So I'll put all of those links, drop them in the show notes so that you all can connect with Hannah and Earl. Thank you all so much for taking the time. Time is such a valuable resource. So for you all to take that to share your knowledge and experience to help people, that means a lot to me, and hopefully it means a lot to anybody listening.
Yeah. I want to say thank you for having us on. And again, you think power couple from what you said. We appreciate that. But I think, you and Brittany are doing awesome, man. I think something like this is being vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like putting yourself out here like this is super dope. So we appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is cool. It's fun. Something different. We've never done anything like this before, so we definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Happy to have you a part of it. You all are awesome. I'm probably going to bring you back again in a year or two after we get further into this. Get some more tips and tricks from you all.
For sure.
So thank you all for tuning in, allowing us to be a part of your journey. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, share it, and comment with your thoughts and questions to join the conversation, and let's grow.